day, everyone. A bunch of stuff has happened lately in the Spartan race world, and I'm going to bring you a lot of it on this video. Some stuff we might wait and do on a second video, but for now, I want to update you on a few big topics. Number one, Spartan race elite payouts. Just the other day, we put out an article showing Spartan elite races would only pay out at certain venues, certain distances. They weren't going to pay out. They used to pay out every race no matter what. The National Series paid out more, which is now the North American Series. But now they were only going to pay out. So if there's a trifecta weekend, that sprint on Sunday, they might not have an elite wave for, right? There's so many other events. By the time you get to the sprint on Sunday, there's a few people. We don't need to pay out every single race. Made sense. However, people still wanted to qualify for things. And how can I qualify if there's no elite wave? That specifically came up around the ultra distance. It only looked like there were 2 races that could qualify people. So guess what, folks? Every single race now has an elite wave. You can pay more just to line up and not win any money. But you they will do a podium at the end of the day for you, or whatever time they do that. And it also will still qualify you. So all those races that you need to qualify in for the North American Series, for the World Championships, all those races you're now allowed to qualify for using their system of top 10 at a certain distance. I think it's all in there. We can flash to that maybe on the old Zendesk. And so you could, in fact, cherry pick the things you want to do to get to maybe some of those championship races if you want to or not. But you will be rewarded to go to these races by paying extra and punch your ticket. That's right. Punch your ticket to the North American Championships or the World Championships, the regular ones, the ultra ones. And also they're going to reinstate roll down week, meaning so many people qualify by a certain point, and then they roll down the rest. As soon as we get closer to that, we'll talk about all that. Very exciting times. Roll down week. We remember that from who can remember anymore, right? 19, 20, and 21 are all the same fucking year to me now, right? When you say last year, especially early on, especially in January, it's like, do you mean last like a couple months ago or 2 years ago? And then you were planning 2020 shit in 2019 and that never happened. So there you go. Which brings me to the second point. The announcement sort of the trifecta Greece World Championships and Abu Dhabi World Championships. Now, you out there, the viewing audience of obstacle racing, happen to go on websites and go, oh, look what I found on the Spartan page. Have they announced this yet? And because they're not that great at communicating, it's usually a no. So we hope Spartan eventually figures out how to update a website behind the scenes before pushing live. Because they seem to be very upset at you and me when we post about these things. So Greece, it looks like, is in fact happening. Spartan Trifecta World Championship, 5K Sprint and 10K Super 2022. And let's see if you can actually register for it. And you can! Max Fun, register.com, register now, 28 tickets left at this price. So that, in fact, is live. Spartan Sparta 2022. Say that 10 times fast. Bada boom, bada bing. All right, moving right along. Let's go to Spartan Abu Dhabi. Spartan 2022 Spartan World Championship coming soon, it says. Okay, they took off the date, TBD 2022. I will flash up the previous thing we had where there actually was a date of December 3rd and 4th. So you can't register for that, but you can, in fact, register for Greece, apparently. In terms of qualification for that, here's something very interesting I want to share with you. People often complain about no response from customer service. I can tell you where I've been getting my answers lately. The Zendesk. Not joking. I've asked questions in the Zendesk and got an answer within 24 hours from somebody responding to those things. So what you do is you go to the Zendesk, you ask the question, it'll usually give you does this answer, and it'll refer you to some articles. Just say no, and boom, you're going to hear. So for example, here's the question I had. So according to my emails, I got the automatic, we've got your question at 1348. That's 148. And then here's the response just a few hours later, 2259. So what is that? 8 hours later. I asked if you could transfer if you'd registered pre-COVID and you didn't get to do the race, right? And it says, sure, Matt, thanks for email. Yes, you can transfer if you're able to register for the event itself before it was postponed or canceled. Please let me know if we can assist you further. Thank you, Aru Zach S. Well, I guess my next day will be, how do I do that? How do I transfer it over? Maybe it's automatically already done it. But either way, when you don't get responses from customer service at whatever you're using, I go to the Zendesk. I ask questions there. I had another question earlier about Elite Heats, or so. I don't remember what it was, but they got back to me right away. Speaking of announcements, another piece of information that was found by you, the community, was Spartan's website had been updated about Kelowna. And Spartan wrote us and said, hey, where did you get that? And I'm like, your own website. And they're like, well, it's not really correct. And then sure enough, 2 days later, it is up. So there you go. There's the proof. You can register it now. Kelowna Spartan North American Championship weekend. Here's more clarity about those championships. Wait a minute. God damn it. I got to call Gary.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, Gary.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question and you answer it and I use it on a video, or no?
Sure, if you want to.
Okay. 2022 Spartan World Championship qualifying standards. Let's look at North America. That's where I live. That's where I go to race. I have to finish in 20th place or 80% of the winner, or is it one or the other? What does that mean?
It is both. So you need to be in the top 20.
Right.
And within 80% of the winner.
Okay, so let's say only 10 people finish between 80% of, let's say, Ryan Atkins. Then what happens?
Then only 10 people will get this coveted invite to the World Championships.
Okay. How else can I punch my ticket to the World Championships?
Well, you will be able to place in any of the series events. So obviously we have the North American Elite Series this year, as that applies to you. We will also have some wild card events. Wales in the UK is going to be a wild card event. That might be breaking news, but Wales will be a wild card event.
You're blowing my mind. Wild card. You're blowing my mind.
Matt, I give you all the breaking news here.
This is amazing. So glad I called.
I'm glad you called me too.
Well, no, that's not me saying goodbye. That's me asking you, because I was trying to pull it up on the Zendesk while we were talking. You're just going to be like, hey, man, you finished top 10 at this crazy event in Wales, right? And that's it. Top 10 at that event?
Yeah, top 10 at that event.
Okay, that's crazy.
That would be number 5. Competitors may qualify in 5 ways. Number 5 says, throughout 2022, Spartan reserves the right to designate select regular seated events eligible for World Championship qualifying points for both elite and age group categories. So that's it. Spartan is reserving their right to designate that one.
Okay, and what about age group for the World Championships? Same thing, place or percentage of winner.
Yep, yeah, there's a handy chart right below there. So it's obviously less spots because there's more age groups qualify. So U.S., which is where you reside, I believe, it's 15 spots.
Okay, and then back to the North American Championship Series. Okay.
Yep. North American Championship, that's not a thing.
North
American Elite Series?
The NAES.
Okay.
To qualify for that, okay, how do I get there?
You just show up as long as you've earned your elite
I
qualification.
earn my EQC and I apply and I go. Okay.
Boom. That's it, yeah.
And then from there, okay, I take that, right?
Yep.
And how do I get to the World Championship again? Sorry.
Right there. That's it.
By placing.
Well, in any of the North American Elite Series events.
That's just top 10. That's not percentage.
No, that's percentage.
It says right here, National Regional Series, the top 10 male and female finishers in either or age unlock entry into the championship for their region.
Correct. Are you talking about the North American Championship or are you talking about the World Championship?
Which I'm out, right now we're talking about NAES.
Okay. So the NAES, by placing in the top 10, will get you directly into the North American Championship held in Kelowna, Canada this year.
Not a percentage.
No percentage. Or to get into the World Championship, to bypass the North American Championship and go directly to the World Championship, you would have to finish based on that handy chart, which would be top 20 and 80%. So obviously it's a little bit more gated because you're getting direct entry into the World Championship.
Did you catch all that? I got to be honest, I didn't catch it the first few times through, but now I think I got it. I've got even more coming up with information about what's going on over in Spartan Europe. You saw us talk about that a little bit, and also more on all these series and the pro stuff. I'll be covering it in another video. I'll also be talking to Dave this Sunday. I'm sure we'll recap all this stuff. Thank you so much for watching. Special thanks to my guest, Gary B., who came on to help explain all that stuff. Listen, have a great weekend, everybody. Love you, miss you, mean it. Listen, do some comments. That's what I would love to hear from you guys. Do some comments below. What you think of this. Does it make sense? Do you like these videos? Doing all that does help the old algorithm. When you watch it right away and you subscribe and you comment, comments are the best, really, because that's how we can interact. So thank you, as always, for watching. Love you, miss you, mean it. I have got to run.